Do you ever feel like your emotions are running the show? Like, something happens, somebody says something to you, and instead of responding, you find yourself just so consumed by this chaos. The emotions are running the show, and you just feel totally out of control. And you see so many people talking about responding versus reacting. But like, what does that even mean, and what does that even look like? Well, in this video, we're going to be diving into how to take back control of your emotions and be the master of your journey.
Yay! So my name is B if you're new here.
And I'm Jessie.
And we help women heal themselves from the inside out through energy work, through breath work, and our conscious coaching. So if that sounds interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. And if you are returning, thank you for being here, love. We so appreciate you. And with that, we're going to get right into it. If you're watching this video, you're probably someone who is constantly reacting or constantly feels like they are being controlled by life through their emotions. And that's a really rough way to live, because it just feels like you're on this roller coaster, ups and downs, and you have no control. You are just at the will of life.
Right. And anything or anybody can kind of just like set you off, and there's just no... You're struggling to get back into your center when something in the external is like coming into your internal space, right? Yeah, that can feel like a lot. That can feel like, oh my God, like where do I even begin? How do I even stop this reactivity? And the key element that we have found is self-awareness. But like, what even is self-awareness, B?
Self-awareness is a constant practice that we can all continue to dive into. So basically, the more that you just put your attention on being aware of like what you're thinking, what you're feeling, like you can even be like, it can be as simple as, how does like my heartbeat feel right now? Like that's self-awareness. So start practicing with that, start playing with that. And the more attention you put on that, that's going to grow. It's going to expand, because where your attention goes, your energy actually flows. So think about that for a second. Like if you put your attention on something negative and you just start getting super angry, super bothered, and then that thing just grows and expands, and oh my gosh. And the same thing happens for something opposite, you know, something really positive. So where we put our attention is where the energy is going to flow. So I would encourage all of us to just become more self-aware. And like I said, that's a practice. So don't beat yourself up if you're not like instantly, oh my God, so self-aware in the moment. It can be really hard. Like say for instance, you're having a conflict with your partner and they say something that just triggers you. It lights you up. Like there's something in there that just wants to react. You might still react, right? But like the key is, what the goal is to become aware first, or even after, but ideally first, of, oh my gosh, this is triggering me. Because if we're just in a reactive state, we're not aware that we're even reacting. And
it just comes out. And something too that I want to highlight is, hindsight's always 20/20. I can look back in the past and see how I was not self-aware in the way, and I was super reactive, but I also was so unaware that I was even triggered in moments. And being able to become aware of and noticing the things in your body, like, oh, I'm feeling like super tense in my chest, or I'm feeling like you know, like shaky, like I'm frustrated, you know, noticing those things, and then being able to like step back, take a pause, and realize like, okay, like my body's sending me a message. My body is gonna signal you when something is going on, something deeper, which usually is always the case. You're triggered by something from your past that you have not dealt with yet, so it is resurfacing for you to deal with it. It is calling upon you and saying, help me. Your inner child is like, help me, like I'm hurting here. I need you to love me here. I need you to put your attention on me, and just pause for a moment.
yeah. And we don't necessarily deal with that trigger by reacting. We deal with it through the pause. So that's the key difference between reacting and responding, is that pause, that self-awareness that you take when you respond. You take the time to observe what's going on for me. How does my body feel? what's going on for me emotionally, what am I thinking. If you can assess all of that and get a good gauge, oh my gosh, you're in the right place.
Right. And something that actually helped me become more self-aware was just getting curious in moments of, most of the time it was after the fact, but it was like, whoa, why did I react in that way? What made me that frustrated or that angry or that upset? And kind of dissecting that a bit, not being hard on yourself, not being like shamed and like internalizing this shame, but being like curious with yourself, like, okay, like, let me trace that back and figure out where that came from, because it's just not, it's not coming out of thin air, right?
Right. And you know, let's say that, you know, we're talking about relationships right now, like romantic partnerships, because that's typically where a lot of triggers can occur. But of course, anyone in our world can trigger us.
Yeah.
So let's say like you're in a meeting with your coworkers, right? And someone says something that just pisses you off. And typically maybe you might react in that moment, but just sort of pausing and becoming more self-aware, giving yourself that time to just process, okay, like what's actually getting stirred in me, and really knowing that that's not necessarily about the other person. Like, you don't even really have to say anything to that person. You can, if you know, it's, if the situation calls for it and your process calls for it, but also that's probably more so about you and the work that you need to do. So if you can't like take that time to process with your inner child and spend time with her and love on him and all of that, then like that's okay. Just become self-aware that, oh my gosh, I'm being triggered right now. Like, how many of you like sit with the fact that you're just being triggered and you don't do anything with it? You don't react. It's just, oh my gosh, I'm super triggered. And you can, like Jess was saying, be curious about that and how does that feel in my body, that sort of thing. So something to play with.
Right. And just going off of what B's saying, so the second key component here to mastering your emotions, taking that control back, is just feeling your feelings, not running from them, not pushing them down, trying to suppress your inner child, trying to be like, no, I don't want to deal with you right now. Like, I'm just going to ignore, because eventually it's just going to come out. And it's not going to, it's going to be against your will. It's just going to come out. It's going to resurface. It's going to boil over. It always does.
Yeah, I think that we both have definitely suppressed emotions in different ways, and we can say it always comes back. So the best thing to do is to simply feel it to heal it. You know, taking control of your emotions and responding in a calm way does not mean you are shoving them all down and doing this emotional bypass thing. Like, that's not what we're promoting or saying at all. In fact, in order to take control of your emotions, it's kind of ironic. You just simply lean into them more, you feel them more. Because once you're able to process and feel them more in your own space, you're probably less likely to react with that super intense, like charged energy to another person, because you've already processed that. Like, you can still have passion in what you're saying, but they're not going to get the brunt of whatever it is that you're feeling, because you've taken the time, the energy, the effort to deal with that on your own. And that shows a huge sign of emotional intelligence.
And emotional intelligence is sexy. It's hot. People love emotionally intelligent people. We just do. It's just, it's so attractive. It's so attractive.
Very much is. Very much. And, you know, to be on autopilot, to suppress your emotions, to be in constant reacting, or maybe even do the opposite where you shut down, you know, that's, you know, sort of on the same spectrum, just on the opposite side. And that's something to look at too, and to be curious about, you know, oh wow, I'm like shutting down in this moment. And that's another way to avoid the feeling. So let us know, are you like more reactive, or are you more of like a person that shuts down?
I was kind of a mixture of both. Like, it kind of it was very dependent on the circumstances. I would either kind of shut down or be like super reactive. It was a good mix of both. And you know, like, you will be triggered and you will be tested. Like, when you do lean into your emotions and you're unpacking it and you're resolving it, you're going to be tested. It's never going to come back up for you again. It's going to come back up in a different way, in a way that you're going to heal like a deeper layer to it.
Yes.
So, but you will be prepared when it does come back around, because you've already started. You've already laid the foundation, and it's going to be a little bit easier for you the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth go around.
Right, because life happens in a spiral. Healing happens in a spiral. So when we heal that first level, it can feel so good. Like, oh my gosh, I cultivated self-awareness. I noticed that I got triggered. I took care of my inner child. Yay! And we think we're all healed. And then maybe a couple days later, or maybe even a few years later, that trigger, that same trigger comes up again, and you're like, oh, I thought I healed this. Oh my gosh, what's happening? All the healing work I did is a lie. No, that's not true. You definitely did all the healing work, and there's always deeper levels. There's deeper layers. Think about a spiral, you know, deeper layers. And so that's okay. So the key is, and this is the true mastery, is to be grateful for those deeper layers of healing that are surfacing. Oh my gosh, look it. I'm going deeper with my personal journey, the real work in this world. What a gift.
What a gift. And I think that's like prime. It's like prime emotional intelligence is when you're being tested and you are so self-aware that you know you're being tested, but you're also grateful for it. You're like, oh, wow, this is a gift. I'm able to heal something on a deeper level.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're not some guru on a mountain, you know, like, oh, I am the perfect master of my emotions. Like,
we still struggle. We still
struggle. But I will say a win for me was yesterday we got a parking ticket. Okay. Y'all, this was a parking ticket that was so unjust. We were parked in front of our own home in a suburban neighborhood. So
crazy.
It was wild. It made me super angry. I was that kind of angry that was like a quiet, calm angry.
It was scary.
That angry is like a different level. But I was able to feel it. I just allowed it to course through my veins, and I felt it. And then I asked, and it's a really beautiful question, is what is the medicine here for me? What's the lesson here for me in this challenge? Because I believe that every challenge that's coming up, everything that's not in my perfect flow, oh my gosh, these obstacles, there's medicine in it for me. There's healing to do. And I realized, oh my God, I got so triggered. It was the same emotions that I felt about this situation that happened a couple years ago with the legal system. And it made me feel super disempowered, super angry. I had so much rage, and I realized, oh my gosh, these are deeper layers that I have not processed with that past experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. However, I could have, had a totally different experience. I could have let that ruin my whole day. That happened in the morning. I could have let that dictate the rest of my day, been a total victim to my circumstance. I said, nope, not today.
Right. Because that's another key component here is like, yes, feel your feelings, but don't get so swept up and lost in them that it's just overtaking your entire day, your entire month, week, life. Like, no, that's not the point here. It's all about feeling it to heal it, but also like releasing it and letting it go. Because there's so many times I can look back where I let a really crappy 5-minute interaction totally take away the rest of my day. There's 24 hours in a day and I let 5 minutes of it ruin the rest of my time.
Let us know if you've been there. Awesome. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please like it. Also, if you need some help dealing with emotions, reacting versus responding, couples work, we are here for you. We see people individually and as a couple. We would love to be of service to you because we've done a lot of work around this. So we have a lot of medicine to give you. So hit those Calendly links below and schedule your free consult today. Take what you need, leave the rest, and most importantly, go love yourself.